Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday. Sorry, no, I can't say it's Tuesday because it's not. It's Wednesday. Wednesday, February 28th, and it is time for our monthly CraftAlong event. Thank you so much for all being here today. How exciting! This is an event that I work on this project right through the month. I have lots of things going on. I have to design the main project that we're going to make early in the month so I can actually sit down, cut it all up, and send all the supplies out to my customers who purchased the previous month. So for customers who purchase in January, you've got all your supplies hopefully, and they should all be coming together to help you make the project that we're going to make today. So that's currently how I'm doing it. I may look down the track at changing the schedule a little bit with this, but right now it's always been you order 1 month and you get the supplies the following month. Flap cards. Yes, we are doing flap cards today. Basically, a flap card, Trudy, is a card with a flap. Okay, so it could be a side flap. The one we're going to make today is going to be a top flap. And there are lots of different types of cards that you can make with the flap card. In fact, when I was going through looking for what cards I wanted to use, I had to discard a lot of cards. So I had to actually pick and choose the ones I wanted to use. So I picked a couple of super, super simple flap cards, and then a couple that have got a little bit more to them, so that everybody, whether you are a very simple crafter or you like to add a lot more on, you can use some of the projects that I have for you today. Okay, so I see we have a regular group here and a few extras. So welcome everybody. Margaret and Donna, hi. I'm not going to say hello individually to everyone today, only because otherwise I'll fill up my hour or so that I like to be live with you just with talking and saying hello. But thank you for the thumbs up, Shirley. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed here to my channel, then please do that. There's a subscribe button under the video on YouTube, and that will subscribe you to my channel. And every time I go live or post a new video, you guys will get a notification so you'll know when those things are happening. I am well, thank you for asking. Hello, Gina. How are you going? It's snowing in Alberta. Well, it's certainly not snowing here. In fact, tomorrow, which is technically in Australia, we don't go by solstices. We actually go by calendar months. So our summer is officially from the 1st of December to the end of February, which tomorrow is the 29th. It's a leap year. So that'll be the last day of summer, all December, January, and February. And tomorrow, right now, they've got that scheduled to be the hottest day of the entire summer. How does that even happen? It's meant to be cooling down now, but it's going to be super hot. So I looked at my weather app and it did say 43 degrees. I don't know if that's still the case. I'm hoping they're going to revise that down. So, yes, very, very hot. 43 degrees Celsius, which is what is that about? It must be close to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's super hot. And I'll be working in my craft room all day tomorrow because I have a leap year party on for my Australian customers. And so I've asked my husband if we can move the air conditioning in here for the day because it's going to be super hot. Okay. You'll trade me. Oh, really? Oh, we always want what we don't have. I've got to say, when I was younger, I used to enjoy the heat. I loved hot weather. Bring it on. The hotter the better. And the older I get, the less I like the hot weather. So, yeah, I think maybe that's a menopause thing. I don't know. What do you think? All right. So, hi there, Deb. Nice to see you. Hello, Leslie. We've got a great crowd of girls here today. Thank you so much for joining me. All right. So, flap cards. Let's get started. First of all, I'll switch over to the desk. So, give me one moment. So I've been keeping these on my desk every video I've been doing lately just to remind me to tell you guys, in case I forget, that it's the end of celebration. Okay, today's the 28th here in Australia. We have today and tomorrow for the leap year, and then it's all gone. So if you have your eye on anything or you want to get free products for purchasing anything that you might have on your wish list, you'll need to jump in by the end of tomorrow. The other thing is, you can see here I'm using my glass mat and my silicone pad and my cleaning cloth. got all the bits here, but these are a current joining special, and this joining special ends tomorrow. Okay, so it ends with the end of celebration. So if you've had your eye on this, or if you were just wanting to get a great deal when you join with extra product, reach out to me, send me a message, and I'll see if I can help you. If you're in a different market, if you're not in Australia, I might still be able to hook you up with somebody who I think is fantastic. So still feel free to reach out if you don't have someone that you're already in contact with. So, okay, so this is the silicone mat that goes with, and I actually really like this. I've seen it used for a few different things, and then the cleaning cloth, of course, to wipe over your glass mat. I just refreshed it before I started this video with water. So so there you go. So let's have a look at the flat cards that I'm starting with today. I'm wondering whether to show you all the card designs and then we make the main card, or do we make the main card and then do we see all the designs? What do you think? First person to comment is the one I'm going to go with. So if you have a particular hankering to see all of them, then I'll show them up front. And if you'd like to see just the main card and then we'll look at the others later, then we'll do that. So main card first or not. Do we wish to make the card first? Main card. Okay, that's what we shall do. Well, I've got two versions of the main card, and some of you will have received a, we are using the Be Mine suite for these ones today. And this is what I call a top flap card. Now, I did actually design this card. However, I always think, hello, Charlene, nice to see you. I always think that when I design a card and I come up with a design that is kind of my own, I can't really call it mine because nearly everything has already been done at some point. And I've always worried that I might say, oh, this is my design. And then, you know, maybe there's another one out there that someone has already designed. So this is a flap card. You can see the front flap here. And inside we have a little greeting, and then open up inside and we have a space here that we could write a greeting here. Okay, so yeah, it's the humidity that gets me too, Shirley. Definitely. Tomorrow, you know, even being really hot tomorrow, if it's not too humid, we'll be able to manage. But if it's humid, that's when it all comes undone, right? And then the other version, nearly the same, just some different paper, same thing. I've got a different greeting. I think I've got the same greeting. Look at that, same one. All right. And this card was just one that I'd seen some side flap cards, and I thought, what if we did a top flap card? That would look cute. So so that's why I came up with these. But like I said, I'm sure this has been done before. Can't be original. There's too many ideas out there, right? All right, so some of you, there was 3 different designs of paper that I sent out in the supply packs. And this one has the little tiny bees, so it's the same as this one with the little bees here in the background. And then the other one, this one here, has the pool party flowers in the background. So that's slightly different paper. So those of you who have the supplies, some of you might have this colorway, and there was a third colorway which is bigger bees. So it was more the neutral colors, but bigger bees. So and I'm going to give you a couple of options today because I have used a punch to cut out my bee here. This is actually the bee builder punch. It not only cuts the shape of the bee body, but it also cuts the wings. And what I've done is I've actually cut a shape for you to work with in here if you don't have the punch. And if you don't have the stamps, I've got a way around that as well. Or we can do something completely different. So I'm going to give you basically 3 options. And I'm going to also show you this paper very quickly as we're starting because it's gorgeous paper. So this is the Be Mine paper. This is the other design that some of you may have, this bigger bees here, okay? So it's just beautiful, this paper. It's got like a check in the Daffodil Delight. The colours are Sweet Sorbet, Daffodil Delight, black, Pool Party, and the green I think is it Lemon Lime Twist? Let's have a look on the back. It always tells us on the back. Yeah, it is Lemon Lime Twist. Basic Black, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist, Petal Pink, that was the one I missed, Pool Party, and Sweet Sorbet. Okay, these are all of that on the back there. So it's just stunning, this paper. I love this one with all the little pots of honey. It's so cute. And on the back of that, we have a basic red design. This one is in the supply packs for those of you who have them. And it's like little bee trails. Super cute. Isn't that nice? I really like that one. I used it on the front because I really liked it. Then we have these little guys that are on the front. Oh, there's a helicopter going over, so I hope that's not going to interrupt with any sound for anybody. And on the back, we've got some little sweet sorbet hearts on a petal pink background. Couldn't find me on YouTube. Oh, I wonder why. Are you subscribed to the channel, Sheila? Because if you're subscribed, it should come up for you. Goodness me, that helicopter is quite close. Then we have sweet sorbet with little white daisies, little white flowers there. Super cute. Little flowers here, and on the back of that one, we've got stripes. I always like stripes. I think stripes are great and they work with just about everything. Then we've got our lemon lime twist leaves in the background here, and some petal pink honeycomb. That's cute. And I think that might nearly be it. I think that's it. There you go. So there's 12 sheets in a pack. You get 2 of each design, and they are super, super cute. All right, I'm deciding which one to use, actually. I might use this one, and let's see what we have in our bags. All right. For those of you who don't have the supplies, I did put up a list of what you might like to have ready on my blog, and I try and do that every month. So to prepare, I give you some ideas about measurements and so forth. Now, for all the projects that I'm going to be showing today, including this one, there is a PDF that comes out that has all the measurements, photographs, and links to all the video tutorials. So that document, I have almost finished this one today. Within the hour, I'm putting the final touches to it. Within the hour after I finish this video, you'll be able to go to my blog. I'll put the address up at the end. You'll be able to go to my blog and you'll be able to click over there and see links to the PDFs. Okay, now if you purchased with me last month, or if you're in my team, this will be automatically sent to you. Okay, you'll get the PDF with all those documents in it. Okay, so never too late, Leslie. Don't ever worry about that. So there you go. All right, so I have got my piece of, now I started with a piece of half a sheet of cardstock. Okay, this is A4. Like I said, the measurements for both metric and imperial will be in the PDF, but this was A4. So this section, this is a 21 centimeter wide piece. So this is the halfway mark is where it's scored. And then I cut 5 centimeters off the front of the card so that we have one full piece, and then we have like a half card front. Okay. And then that piece there, this is the piece that was cut off. Can you see that? So that piece was the bit that I cut off. Now we're going to be using this again, so don't get rid of it when you cut that piece off. We keep that and put that to one side so we can use it later. And then I've got 2 pieces of Daffodil Delight. Okay, now these 2 are going to go here on the front of my card and inside here on the front of my card. Okay, so I'll put these pieces on. You've also got 2 pieces of DSP, whichever color that you ended up with in your pack. And we're going to glue these onto these Daffodil Delight panels. So these panels are 5 centimeters across, and then the DSP pieces are 4.5 centimeters across. So they're half a centimeter smaller on each side, so they'll fit nicely. I'm just going to pull out, you can use whatever glue you like. I'm going to use Tombow, but you could also use seal or tape or whatever you like. All right, so let's pop these on. And I'm going to pop this one here, like so. Now, when I was doing the videos for the other projects, one of the projects, I made a mistake and I completely messed it up and had to re-record it all over again. And I almost left it in. I thought maybe people would like bloopers, but yeah, so I don't get it right all the time. Someone says, how come you always you always do great cards? I'm like, yeah, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I mess it up. So that's okay. We all mess up sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we learn stuff, right? I will never again make that mistake because I learned myself a lesson. All right, so then this one. So you can see I put this onto the front flap, and then this one here is going to go onto the inside. Now this is, like I said, the top flap version. There is other versions. There's a side flap version in the tutorials. There's a double flap card, and there's also a trying to think. There's 4 others anyway, but I'll show them all to you at the end. All right, so I'm going to pop my glue on the back of this. Who's making the card with me today? Is anyone making it, or are you all just watching? Love to hear. Yeah, definitely human. Definitely. Just make sure when you do put your DSP on that if you have your bees facing a certain way that you don't put them in upside down. Ask me how I know that. You want your bees to all be going the right way. How cute are these? All right, so you've got your flap inside, or you've got your piece inside, and then you've got your flap here at the top. All right, although that's not the flap that I'm talking about with the flap card. This is the flap. All right, so this is the flap that goes like so. All right, now this piece, remember we cut this piece off. All right, and what I have done is I have scored this at the 7.5 centimeter mark. So if I was to put this on my trimmer, let me see if I've got that exactly right. Yep, 7.5. Actually, it's this way. 7.5 centimeters. Okay, it's almost in the middle, not quite, but close enough. All right, and then we're going to fold that in half. My suggestion is for this that you use a bone folder to get this a really good firm crease, because your card will sit flatter and nicer if you use a bone folder over the creases. All right. And then we have a couple of other pieces. Now this piece, I'm just trying to remember. So this is 4.5 centimeters wide by 7 centimeters long. And when I put it on this piece, if it's the right piece, no, it's this one. Okay, it'll be exactly right with a little bit of a border all the way around. Can you see that? All right. And then this piece is 4 centimeters by 6.5. And that's going to go right in the middle of that one. So we're going to put those bits together as well. I'll stick the DSP onto the Sweet Sorbet piece first. You should be able to see how this comes together. It's very easy, actually. It's not a difficult card at all, but it's super fun. And I love fun fold cards because everybody loves them, right? There's something different and something that if you give it to somebody, they go, oh, wow, that's special. Not just, it feels like more than just a card, even though, of course, it is just a card. You're making it with me, Sharon. Good to know. How's it going? Am I going at the right speed? Can you do it? Is it all right? Or am I too fast? You're using the coffee sweet, Denise. Ooh. Did you use my measurements on the blog to get ready? Did that help? So Shirley's watching. Sheila is watching and working at the same time. And Inaka is making the card with me, but using different DSP. Excellent. I love that. Do you know what? One of the cards does use the coffee sweet. And it's actually, Denise, the funny thing is it is another top flap card like this one. So it'll be interesting to see how your card and my card turn out different. They will be different, but it'll be interesting to see. All right. So what I'm going to do now is this is going to go over the back. And what you want to have is so that it's centered, so that this line here is right in the middle and you've got the same amount here and the same amount here. Okay. So I then put that down. Okay. And you can see the flap goes down the back of the card. Now, if that worries you, we could have put another piece over the middle before we glued on the inside flap. We could have put that and covered it up, but I am not worried about what's on the back of my card. I actually don't think it matters at all. But if it does worry you, you could pop another piece inside over the top of the flap and have it inside and covered. But I don't mind it. So I'm actually going to put this right here. Make sure it's sitting down where I want it. And I'm going to make sure it gets a good press so that I'm getting, and that's how that's going to look. Now, I actually have, some of you, does anyone here have a stamp with their name to say, you know, made by you? Because they're fun to have. I was very lucky a number of years ago. I was given one by Stampin' Up when I was at head office one time. And it says made by Linda. So this is not part of today's tutorial, but I do actually have one and I really like it. And that, I think, is a great place to put my stamp. See, it's a made by Linda stamp. So this is something that Stampin' Up did as a gift for some of us a number of years back. I'm going to use the Sweet Sorbet ink, and I'm going to stamp that on there just for a bit of fun. If you have one, of course, it's decided it's not going to stay because it is actually, here's a tip for you guys, all right? If ever your stamps are no longer sticking, that's because the back of it is dirty, okay? It's gotten dust or dirt. It's no longer sticky at all, okay? So what I do, if I'm desperate, is I stick a bit of seal, onto a block, and I actually pick it up with that on there and stick it to the block. I know that's not very professional probably, but it works for me. If you want the stamps to get their stick back, you can, this only works with photopolymer stamps. Take your stamp and wash it under warm soapy water. So, you know, a bit of dish detergent or something like that, and warm water, and allow it to dry. And you will find it will get its stick back. Maybe not quite as sticky as it was at the very start, but enough stick to make it stick to your blocks, okay? You don't have a personalised, so you use labels instead, Gina. Yeah, I like having a personalised stamp. I think it's really cute. See that? Isn't that nice? Anyway, back to the tutorial. Okay, so we've now got this flap that sits just like this, and you can see it's literally flapping around, all right? So I want to do something fun with the front of this, and I'm going to use my bee stuff. If you do not have all the bee stuff, this is where I'm going to give you a couple of options. So you might want to, does anyone who's watching actually have the bee stamp and punch? I love this punch, and I love the stamp set as well. I didn't think I would use them as often as I have. I've used the little flowers. I've used the little faces. I've used the greetings. I think they're super, super cute. All right, so I'm going to start by doing this. So it's a piece of paper in your packs. If you're stamping this, it's a piece of white paper for you to stamp your bee on. Totally up to you. If you don't want to use that, you certainly don't have to. Then we have the punch. Now, the reason I love this punch, it's like it's, it does double duty. Okay, it does more. You've just ordered it, Gina. That's great. It is super cute. Okay. Oh, Sheila has one. Isn't that cute? Oh, that's your, is that a label or a stamp? That's super cute. Susan is cleaning her craft room. I had to clean my desk before I could do this video. So, all right. Oh, good. Not too fast. That's good to know. That's good. Some people have personalized stamps. I think they're fun to have. All right. Okay. So the reason I love this punch is because not only does it make a bee, as you can see the bee that it makes. Okay. And the bee we can have the bees going like flying sideways, or we can have the bee going up and down like this one is. But this can double. This is the bee's shape with a stinger on his bottom. Oh, it's a bit hard to see in the slide, isn't it? Okay, but you can also make this a speech bubble. So you can also turn it into a speech bubble if you wanted somebody on your card, an animal or a person, to be saying something. And then the wings also obviously double as hearts. Okay, so we have a small heart, which could be little wings, and we have the big one, which is the big wings. So the wings that I've used on this card are also this heart. Okay, so you can use it as heart or you can use it as wings. Ah, the retired Chula punch. That's a great idea. Fantastic. You know what? That's okay. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's all right. Hello, Lou. Nice to see you there. All right, so I'm actually going to grab myself, because this is a solid stamp, I want to have a mat underneath, so I'm going to get a better image. And I'm going to use the body, okay. In your packs, I have cut out for you a yellow body. So this is the cut from the punch, okay. And the reason I did this was I figured not everyone's going to have the stamp. So for those of you who don't have the stamp, we can use this, and we can actually create a bee with that. So that's one of your options. And then I also have the bee body here. So for those of you who do have the stamp, my suggestion is to grab, let me see, I'm going to grab that. Now the stripes are going to be here, and I'm going to pop those on block. What block is this? Block B. So block B or C or even D will be fine for this stamping. I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight to create the body. I've actually ended up, like I said, using this stamp set a lot more than I thought I would. Let's have some tips on how to use this. when you stamp it, you need to make sure that the stinger with the stripes there is going off to the right. And the reason why is we need to match up with the punch. So you don't want to be too far from the edge, okay? Because when you come in with the punch, you need to be close enough to the edge that you're going to be able to get that into the punch, okay? If you go too far away, you're not going to be able to reach it. But the other thing is, see how the stinger is off to the right here? That's why we need to make sure when we stamp it, we have our stinger off to the right here as well. All right, so I'm going to do this with Memento ink. And let me see. Now, if you have a Stamparatus, which we don't sell anymore, it's now retired, but if you have one or you have another stamp positioning tool, then that would give you the very best inking with a stamp like this, and you could do it several times until you're happy with it. Whereas when we're doing it with just stamping, you really get one shot at it, or if you're very good at lining up your stamps, you might get a second shot. But I'm just going to hope I get a good inking with that. That's not too bad. All right. Okay, now I come in with my punch, and my stinger's off to the right, and I'm going to punch that out. Did I perfectly line up this when I stuck the stripes on the yellow? No, but it won't matter. The bee is going to look absolutely fine. All right, here we go. Here's my bee, and there's his stripes. For those of you who don't have the stamp set, okay, you have, if you have the, and if you don't want a bee, then my suggestion is, this is another idea for you. For those of you who don't have the bee and don't want a bee, what you can do is use the a piece of white, before obviously like a full piece of white, and you can put a sentiment on the front. Okay, now this piece under here, which you can see I've cut with the everyday labels, sorry, everyday details dies. Okay, this piece, you could turn it over and have this on the back, or for anybody who has the stamp set, you could have other bees and other things going on if you want to use the other side. Totally up to you. Okay, so there's a number of options here. You could have a sentiment, you could have DSP, you could have the bee, and I'll show you how to make a bee out of this in a second. The one that we've stamped though, we're starting with that one. Okay, and I'm going to use a block, and we're going to put a face on our bee. Now, if the bee is going sideways, you will only need one heart, and we'll put the face on him, and he's going this way. Bzzz, sorry. And if you want him going up, like the one on here, then we're going to have two sets of wings, which I've given you two sets in your packs. Okay, and you're going to put those two on like this, like so. And then we can put the face on so it's straight on. Now I've used just like the little happy face on the bee, but there are actually 4 bee faces in this set. We've got the happy bee I've used today. We've got a winking bee, see him there. We've got a bee up here who's smiling with his eyes because he can't contain himself. And we've got this, what looks a bit to me like a grumpy bee. I have to admit, I have not used the grumpy bee, not even once. But when would we use the grumpy bee? When do you think, right? Do you think maybe, maybe, I don't know, a feel better soon card, or I don't know. When would you use this guy? Does anyone have a thought about that? Because I was wondering. I can't see myself using him. But I'm going to use one of the others. So I'm thinking, which one will I use? And while I'm at it, I'm going to put my antennas on another block. So there's a block with some antennas. Look how little they are. They're so tiny. And then another A block for my face. And maybe I'll have the really happy, the happy bee today. All right. So I like that you have choices. You can make your bees as happy as you like. All right. So, all right, what have I done with, oh, there he is. All right, so I'm going to have my face, he's going to be going straight up because I like that. So let's put him right here. How's your coffee sweet going, Denise? How's that looking? All right, and see how his eyes are smiling. So there we go. And then I'm going to use these two guys, and I'm going to put them behind here like this. And because it's glitter paper, I suggest you use glue dots because Tombow or Seal don't work particularly well, in my opinion, on glitter paper. The best glue adhesive to work with glitter paper is either glue dots or dimensionals. They work really well, both of them. All right, so I've got one here on this side. Da, da, da. And then one, and I'm putting it on the front of the glitter so I can stick it to the back of the bee. And so now our bee is coming together. There we go, like that. Isn't that cute? All right, so this bee is going to go right in the middle here. All right, but I want him to have antennas as well because, you know, bees need antennas so they know where they're going. So we've worked out where we want our bee to be, and then I'm just going to move this out. I could make lots of, you know, to be or not to be kind of jokes, but I don't know, that seems kind of lame. All right, so then you can see now he's got his antenna that is behind there, and I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals to pop this on. Now, another tip for you, whenever you have pieces that are separate like this, we've glue dotted this on, but when you're putting it on dimensionals, to give it a bit of extra strength, put your dimensionals over the joins so it will make it really strong. Okay, that's just a little tip for you. It'll help hold the whole thing together really well. Okay, so let's get rid of the backing on those, and let's put that right there. Okay, there we go. Rather liking it. It's very cute. All right, so then this is going to go on our next size circle. For this, I use the decal circles. And for anyone who hasn't seen these are the deckled circles. These have been around for a while. They're an online exclusive that is being continued. No, sorry, they weren't. They were in our last holiday catalogue they are still available. Even though they're no longer in the catalogue, they're still available. You can get them online. I'm hoping that means they're going to go into the next annual catalogue because they are fantastic. I mean, there are, is it 13? No, 14 different sizes, and they go from a really big one that's, you know, like almost, it would cover a 6x6 piece of paper, all the way to down to like an inch circumference, inch in diameter. So there you go. You're trying to decide which coffee mug to use. Well, that's a tough choice. Are you stamping your coffee mugs or are you cutting them out of the paper? Use the grumpy bee with the sentiment, I love you no matter what, when you're upset at your partner. There you go. That could work. Gina said she could definitely use it for her husband today. Maybe we won't ask about that, Gina. Can I just tell my Australian customers who are part of my party tomorrow, I do have a set of deckled circles to give away as one of the prizes. So if you're not in my private group, you might want to be over there, okay? Would anyone like the address for that so you can go and find that? All right, so this now, I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals behind this, and we're going to put that in the middle. And then I'm going to show you how to make the bee with this piece of yellow. All right, because I know that I haven't done that yet. Oh, that's the last dimensional on there. I'll have to keep the... Does everyone know you keep the sides, you keep the backs so that you can chop them up and use them, because those bits work for dimensionals as well, and especially sometimes in small spots. Oh, I bet he wasn't. No, I see. He would not have been happy about that. That's the thing. I think that I've watched my husband when I went home to Michigan to my parents-in-law. I watched my husband use the snowblower in their driveway, and that looked like quite a task. And I was very happy I was watching him do that from inside the house in my nice, nice and warm and cozy. And I was watching him do that outside. I'm like, I'm glad that's not me. So I get it. So what size circle did you use for the sweet sorbet? Yes. So that is a deckled circle. Let's tell you which one. Sorry, I missed that question. Sorry about that. All right. So I think it's this one. Yep. So it's this one here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th smallest. Okay. So if you start at the middle and count 1 to 6, it's number 6. So does that help? Is that the one? Is that what you wanted to know? And if I was to measure that, look, if I put it on my glass mat here and just measure it, that is around about 7.5 centimeters across from here to here. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. What time's the party? This is your good week with no appointments. Well, I have, I'm going to go live at 2 o'clock again tomorrow like I did today, but in the private group. And there are going to be little things happening there all day. Okay, I'm going to have a couple of challenges. So mid-morning, there should be the first challenge up, I believe. But the actual live video will be at 2 o'clock. So yeah, Leslie said to allow him to be a little grumpy for a little while. The VIP, no, it's not on Zoom, Susan. It's in my private Facebook group. So I'm actually going to be posting on the wall of the Facebook group things like, you know, challenges and stuff like that. I'm planning on having a color challenge, thinking maybe a sketch challenge, but I haven't decided for sure about that. Maybe a sketch challenge because I really like sketch challenges for those of you who like those. And we'll have a couple of games and some other bits and pieces. So it will actually be in the group itself. Okay. All right. So for those of you who have just the shape, all right, what are we going to do with this? You can draw on the stripes in the face if you want to. All right. Obviously, if you don't have the stamps, you're going to have to do something like that. But if you're not real sure about drawing circles, or sorry, drawing stripes, and you're thinking, I don't know how I go about that, I'm worried that my stripes won't be very nice. Here's a tip. This is what you can do. You can put a circle. I've just punched my 1 3/4 inch circle, and I'm just going to pop it down there. We know that his stinger is black, so I'm just going to color in with, I'm just using a Sharpie, but you could use a Stampin' Blend as well. And then I'm going to use my Sharpie right over the edge here, and I'm just going to move that a little bit, and that helps me make nice straight stripes. Okay, so all right, so then we have one stripe, and then move it along a little bit further, and maybe a second stripe. I might move that a little bit further there. So this is just to help you if you're worried about drawing, if you don't have a steady hand and you're worried about how to get a stripe look, you can just add stripes like so. Okay, so that's another alternative that you could do if you don't have the stamps. I think the stamps are fantastic, and I think you can do a lot with them. But if you don't have them, this is an alternative for you. All right. You're in that group. Great. Excellent. Then you'd be fine. Oh, no, you had to shovel, but he had to shovel by hand. Oh, yes, I would think so. All right, so I don't have, if you don't have a stamp, and it won't look quite as pretty as, you know, as a stamped one, but I'm just going to add a smiley face. And he's not quite as pretty as the stamped one. This little guy's going to go sideways. You can see if you have the Petal Pink glitter paper or any of the glitter papers that you might like to use, I can grab my punch, and I'm just going to come in here, and I'm going to punch out a heart. I only need one if he's going sideways, and then this would go behind, and now this bee is actually going sideways, not up and down. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. I'm going to just add. So you've got a number of options. If you don't have the stamps, you can either make your own bee, or you could add a sentiment and use, you know, use a different piece of DSP maybe. So that's how it would look if you were doing another little bee. So I hope that's helpful. Oh, yay, it had marshmallows in it. Well, that's good. Yes, I should think so too, because he did a good job. I'm sure he did. All right, let me pop the lid back on the Memento, and also my Daffodil Delight pad is still open, so I need to do that as well. All right, so what did I just do with the card? Oh my goodness, seriously, here it is. It's over here. All right, so now that we have these guys, all right, we need to put this on the flap. Okay, and you can have it higher if you want it, but I kind of like it right in the middle of my card, and the flap that I've made sort of is geared towards doing that. So once you know where you're going to put it, you want to have, and actually having the hexagons on the honeycomb makes it really easy to like keep the line. It's like a straight line, so you can see exactly where it needs to go. And we're going to just put our glue right down there on that bit, and then you're going to stick this straight over the top. Just center it. If you're using Tombow, that's helpful because you can kind of wriggle it into place if it's not completely straight on your first attempt. And then we're going to just push that down. You're making along too, Rose. How's it going? Is it all making sense? That's the question. All right, so now we have our flap card. And I've still got a couple of things left in the pack. We've got a couple of little, now these are the adhesive backed hearts and flowers. Seriously, these are some of my new, I've decided that I love them. I absolutely love them. They are fantastic. I've ended up buying a whole lot more of them than I anticipated. Actually, I think I have even more. Anyway, yeah, look, there's another one. I have lots of these. I think I've got another couple of packets as well. And you've got hearts in Sweet Sorbet and Petal Pink and Daffodil and Pool Party. And then you've got little flowers as well. Aren't they super cute? And they're like resin. Can you see them? Super nice. And they're adhesive. So everything's sticky, which is great. You haven't got to worry about glue with those. So I've given everybody in the packs, I've given you a couple. You might have the same color, you might have different colors, doesn't really matter. What we're going to do is we're going to pop, I'm going to put the Petal Pink. Now the Petal Pink, if you have two Petal Pink like this one, the Petal Pink probably won't stand out very much on the honeycomb, so I'm going to put it down here on the red, and I'm going to put another heart, maybe up here, because it stands out more. It stands out more on the Sweet Sorbet circle. Okay, so it kind of depends. This one I put a Petal Pink heart on the red, and then I put a white one up there on the top bit. So you can work out where they need to go. This one's got two hearts. It's got a red heart and a Petal Pink heart. So you'll have different ones. I just basically chopped up the sheets and sent people different ones, and you get what you get, and you don't get upset. Sorry, that's a bit mean, isn't it? You don't have to be set. Oh, that's okay, Sharon. It is a really great set. And if you do love it, it will be around for a while yet, at least until the end of this catalogue. So this catalogue goes through until the end of April, this one. And it's in here, right at the very, very front. So for anyone who's looking for this set, this is the Be Mine set, okay? Whenever you see a suite, this is a whole suite. So it's got paper and ribbon and the adhesive resin thingies, and even some little boxes, okay? And a suite, it takes its name from the paper. So the paper is called Be Mine 12 by 12 paper. Therefore, it is the Be Mine Suite Collection, okay? The actual stamp set is called Be My Valentine. So that's the Be My Valentine bundle, and that's bundled together with the punch, okay? So you can just get the, and it's actually a really good bundle price because a punch is a lot cheaper than dies. So the stamps and the punch together are only $68.25, which is actually a really good deal. And I think the punch is great. The punch by itself is $39. Oh, actually, I think that might be at the back. It's not shown on that page. Where is it? Yeah, it's $39. It's here on page 76, okay, by itself. So you can buy it by itself, but if you want it in the bundle, it's $68.25. The other thing is that there was also Sweet Sorbet ribbon, okay, and then all these lovely little resin bits. Just so you know, Sweet Sorbet is one of the colours that's going to be retiring. So these are definitely going. They will not stay and continue into another catalogue. They are definitely going. And for those of you who have the, you don't have the, you have the flowers going the wrong way because you don't have the bees. Oh, I'm sorry, Joan. Oh, that's okay. No problem. So the colours that are in Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, and so this group, these colours are all retiring at the end of April. All right, these ones. So the Orchid Oasis, the Starry Sky is the really dark blue, the Parakeet Party is the lime colour, the Tahitian Tide is a turquoise, and then we have the Sweet Sorbet, which is a soft red. These colours are going. If you love them, you'll want to grab them. As soon as they put out the retiring list, in colours like these are usually amongst the first things to go, especially the re-inkers. So if you have the ink pads but you don't have the re-inkers, please grab the re-inkers because they will go out of stock very quickly. Okay, I'm not making that up. That's something that happens every year. The ink color refills are amongst the first things to go. Okay, your card's done and you really like it. Fantastic. That makes me so happy. That makes my heart happy, Inika. All right, I'm just going to pop these back in. So just bear that in mind, that anything that has got retiring colours such as these is not, and the paper too, won't be sticking around. Okay, it's going to go. You think they'd be good for, yes, welcome spring cards and happy B-Day cards. Is there a B-Day? Yep, I didn't buy it for Valentine's Day actually, because we don't really do Valentine's Day. We certainly don't send Valentine's Day cards here in Australia. The only people that seem to do very well in Australia on Valentine's Day are restaurants and florists. They do okay, but I don't see much Valentine's action apart from that. All right, our card is nearly done, but not quite. All right, so let me move these out of the way. We do have a greeting that we're going to pop here on the inside of the card, and you can see here I've got it. Oh yeah, I've got it here on this inside flap. So I've only glued down half of this piece. Don't glue the whole thing down, or you'll glue your card shut. Okay, and if you want to be able to open up the card, then you want to have this glued to half of the flap, the flappy half. Okay, so I'm going to use my Sweet Sorbet ink, and I'm going to grab the greeting that I want to use. I want to use "You'll Always Be the One for Me." When my kids were young, I had a book that I used to love to read them. I got it on a business trip once, back when I was working for, corporations and stuff. And it was called Dougal the Garbage Dump Bear. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it. It's such a great kids book. I still have it, and my kids absolutely loved it. And in the book, Dougal was his story was he was thrown away because he got left outside after a tea party and got rained on, and then his father, the little girl's father, the little girl who owned him, her father threw him in the bin, so he ended up at the garbage dump. And it's the story of his adventures at the garbage dump. I know this is a weird story to be telling you, but his best friend is a bee. Okay, and right through the book is scattered all these, to be or not to be, they make a play on the word be all the way through the book. And it's a heap of fun. If you haven't seen the book and you're looking for a great book for the grandkids, look for Dougal the Garbage Dump Bear. I love the book. It's fantastic. All right, so you can see I've stamped on this now, and I'm going to be putting it here. All right, but what I want to do is I want it to be in the center of my circle. Okay, so I'm actually going to be bringing this over, and I know roughly where I want it to be. I'm so sorry. I can't help myself. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. All right, and I'm going to line that up and bring it over. Now, the advantage of using Tombow when you do this, okay, is that if it's not completely straight, and you can see it isn't, we can just move that because Tombow is liquid. So it takes a little moment for it to dry. So it's like basically repositionable as soon as you put it down. It is, Inika, exactly. And it's such a great book, and my children loved it and had me read it to them over and over again. So I found the book again recently when I was going through some boxes of books and things that we have, and I put it back on the shelf because it brings back a lot of good memories. All right, so if you wanted to, if you still have any left, you could also decide to use your little bits here. You might decide that you want to have one here. I think that's rather cute. And because these are relatively flat, these little resin dots, you can have them inside the card without adding any bulk. All right, so there I've got a little yellow heart. The other thing, if you have the punch, okay, of course, you might have noticed, we did talk about it, that there's another little heart. And you can see I punched that little heart out of some Sweet Sorbet pieces, and so I popped it here. So you can also, there's another one. Okay, so I used a little resin daisy there, another one here, and then on this one I used a heart. So make use of those little hearts and flowers. They are absolutely fantastic. I love them. And I'll be sad when they're gone. All right, our card, guys, is done. So we have the flap, we have a sentiment, and we have a place to write. You were a true. Oh, was that a favorite book of theirs, Susan? Do you know I bought it? It was a business trip to Melbourne. So I don't know where I can't remember where the author comes from. I have a feeling he's from the Gold Coast, but I'm not sure. I do remember looking him up at one point because I loved his book so much. Okay. All right. So we have some cute cards. What do you think? Do we like them? They are really cute, aren't they? Oh, you restrained yourself from quoting Shakespeare. Well, you did very well, Leslie. All right. Very, very easy to do. See, you didn't know what flat cards were. Would you like to see some more flat cards? All right. So even if you don't want to see any more flat cards, I'm showing them to you anyway. These are all part of this month's Craft Along alternate tutorials. So if you purchased with me last month, or if you're in my team, you're going to get these automatically. If you would like to purchase the tutorials, there will be a link on my blog within an hour or so of this video going live where you can actually go in and purchase them. Okay. And to purchase is only $15 Australian, which is about $10 US. So they're very inexpensive to buy all the tutorials. I have these are a basic easy flap card. Okay, you can see it has a flap here. This piece flaps over and you would write inside here. This is what I'm calling the easy side flap card. And then this one is the portrait version. This one is the landscape version. Same card, just I've done different orientations. Okay, so you'll see that when you watch the video, and there's also full measurements available as well. And then here's another one. I just did a couple of different sentiments to show different things. You don't have to have the this is the pool party celebration. I wanted to use at least one celebration set because it's my last chance to do that. Celebration ends tomorrow, so I'm using one, and you can see that I've got this one uses the Sending You Lots of Love from the Hooray for Surprises set. And then this one uses the Make-A-Wish from the Ice Cream Swirls. So these are basically the little flower here holds that piece in front. And when you open it up, we've got some little flowers inside. These are from the B set as well. So I stamped these little guys across the bottom with these ones. Can you see these? There's little daisies, side daisies, front daisies, and then some little leaves. That's exactly what these are. Okay, so I've got that one, which this just hooks underneath the flower there, and then this one's basically the same. Oh, haha, that's not very good. It just fell apart. Don't, just as you were, guys. We'll pretend that didn't happen. Okay, but you can see how I've stamped in front of this one. All right. Whoopsie daisy. Didn't stick that down properly, did I? This is our card. All right. And then the next one, here you go, Denise. Here's your coffee one. All right. So I did a top flap card like the one I've done today, but I did it with the coffee suite. Okay. And you can see we've got You're the Best Part of My Day inside. I did one version. I like the version, I think, with the Calypso Coral Cup. I think that goes better with this colouring rather than the Lost Lagoon. Which dyes did you use for the hearts, flowers and hearts? Hearts and flowers. Which dyes? Are you talking about these flowers? Is that the ones you mean? Which ones? Tell me if they're the ones you mean, Inika. Those, the flowers that are here? Maybe? Yeah, so this card is another top flap card. So same design essentially as what we just made, but with a different suite, just to show you some variation in how that goes. Also, pecan pie is the color that I use to swirl my ink around in the center here. Isn't that the perfect coffee color? Pecan pie. I've decided it's perfect for coffee. All right. And you can see I've also used some of the little swirl dots on here as well. Actually, I didn't put any on that one, but I will now that I know exactly where they are, so I'll have to add those. But this is, yeah, another variation. And I'd used, in Australia, we would call this a coffee plunger, but I was chatting to Susan, and she said they call it a French press in the US, which sounds a lot nicer, doesn't it? Yeah, the flowers I used as stoppers, they're from the Paper Florist dies. I absolutely love these. One of my favorite die sets, and let me grab them for you. They're these. So they've got all these fantastic flowers that you can, all different shapes, and I use these ones, the large and the small, to make the red flowers, and then I use the yellow flower center here for the middle of the flower. But It's got leaves in it. It's got big petals. You can make big flowers with it. It's absolutely fantastic. Such a great set. And I really hope it doesn't retire when the catalogue ends at the end of April, because I really love this set. So I haven't used it nearly enough yet. The other thing I use that goes really nice with this coffee paper is the rose gold foil. And some of you may have seen me use the rose gold foil in my video last week when I was showing how to use foil, the technique video. The foil is absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. All right. And then I have one more card. That's the third or the fourth card, if you count the one we made today. Then we have one more, and that's this one. It's a double flap card. Okay. Now, Sharon Armstrong, I got the idea to do this from her. And basically, I have translated Sharon's card into metric. So I've got both metric and imperial measurements. But this is I use the Forever Love paper. I'll show you where this is here. And I kind of did something a little bit funny. Okay, so Forever Love is right down here at the front on page 15. It's this paper here. Okay, and you can see this trellis kind of looking paper is this one right here. Now, there is a matching stamp set, and it's beautiful. It's got gorgeous dies as well, but I don't have it. Not because I don't like it, but because you just can't have everything. You just can't, right? So I ended up thinking, well, what could I use with this paper and do justice to it, because it's so pretty. I did use this beautiful ribbon. This is the Pretty Peacock metallic ribbon. It's gorgeous. It's so soft and ties beautiful bows. I love that. So I used those two. But I noticed that this trellis in the background, if you can see it, has little roses halfway. Can you see the roses in the middle of the trellises? There's some down there. It's got little rose shapes. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. It's got rose shapes, so it's going to match my stippled rose stuff. So stippled roses is right up the back here. I think it's page 64. There you go. There it is, this one here. Okay, it does have a matching celebration paper, which we'll be finishing up tomorrow, but you can still get the stamps and the dies, okay, all the way through to the end of April. Because this is, and we don't know whether it will continue into the next catalogue or not. We never know that until the new catalogue comes out, which is only a few weeks away. Oh my goodness, it's getting so close. All right, so this is what they call a double flap card, and I looked at Sharon's great card, and I learned quite a bit from watching her do this. So this front bit is a flap that comes over, and it's like a separate flap. So it's called a double flap card because it has two flaps. It has this flap that you can open out like a note card. You can see I've done the same thing on here. All right, and then if you open it up, you have another flap. It looks tricky, but it's not. See, here's a second flap. All right, so we've got this piece that's a flap as well, and then we have something inside. And I did a slightly different design on the middle one. So what I liked about this was if you wanted to write a personal message to someone, you've got your outside bit here, but it's almost like you can have like a little hidden message inside. Okay, and I really liked that idea. I thought if you wanted to write something really personal to someone, it's a nice way to kind of enclose that. So this is the double flap card, and the instructions are in the tutorials for this as well. And so if you placed an order with me, you're going to get all these tutorials. You're going to get the measurements. You're going to get the full step-by-step video to go with it. And if you're in my team, you will also receive those. Okay, the only thing that's different between what my customers get and my team gets, my customers also get the supplies to make the main project, the B one that we did today. So next month, I'm doing I'm doing a brand new suite next month. So stay tuned because I'm just waiting for it to arrive. And as soon as it does, I'm going to start creating some beautiful projects with it. So for those of you who are deciding whether or not you want to get next month's, if you're placing an order by the end of tomorrow, you can not only choose free celebration items, but you'll also be able to receive next month's supplies. So if you've already placed an order this month, then those supplies are going to be on their way to you automatically. So that's how that works. All right, what do you think? Do we like these? It is really nice, isn't it? It's lovely, that stippled roses bundle. It's just gorgeous. All right, so they're all my cards. So, you know, my personal favorite is this one. I really like the coffee, and I don't know if you can see it, but can you see I even used a window sheet to make the glass of the French press. So that's kind of cool. And then we have the cards we made today. Oh, here's another top flat card. This is not in this month's selection. I just made another version, and to be honest, I didn't like it particularly. It was too yellow for me, and then I made it and went, nah, I don't like that one. So that was just another one that didn't quite end up coming through. And then we've got our basic flaps, and then we have our easy side flap. All right, so that's all the cards that are in this month's selection. Who made the card, and do you love it? I would love to hear what you think of the card that you just made. Oh, thank you, Jen. I really appreciate that. And thank you, everybody, for your kind words. That's so nice. I love the coffee card too. That's my favorite. All right, you guys. Well, we have gone for our hour. For some reason, I always go over on my Friday and Sunday night lives, but my craft alongs almost always go for exactly an hour, almost really close to it. So I hope that if you haven't, if you have ordered with me last month, then look out for these in your email by tomorrow. If you haven't, then ordering this month will mean you get next month's supplies. And I'll be doing some fun things over the next little while with some new products, so you can look out for those. For those of you who are in Australia, I hope to see you in the private group tomorrow for some fun. Otherwise, I'll be back on Friday night live with something completely new. Okay, you guys, you're very, very welcome, Karen. And thank you, everybody, for your lovely comments. That's right. We do chat on Friday nights and Sundays because you guys all are chatterboxes and like to, well, you like to give me a hard time. That's what you like to do. I know that. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.